Hi, I'm Jeff Gonzalez, president of Trident Concepts, and today I want to talk to you about a popular subject, shooting while moving. First of all, let's define what that really means. The way that we break it down is there are three different categories or conditions of movement. The first category is going to be movement, meaning the action stops. So you take a step or two and then stop. The second category is going to be shooting while in motion. That means that you're actually in motion while you are breaking the shots. The third one is going to be double time, where you're running or moving at a very quick pace. Category 3, I like to talk about, or I like to introduce the subject of the tactical imperative, because you're not going to be able to do both well. You're not going to be able to shoot while you're really running. And if you are trying to shoot, you're probably not going to be running. So you got to figure out what's more important. Is it more important for you to run, or is it more important for you to shoot? If it's more important for you to run, high port and boogie. If it's more important for you to shoot, stop, plant, and engage the target. So that's going to focus the rest of our work on the first two categories. Movement, category 1. So here, common scenarios that you might think about are going to be the Toller drill, the 21-foot rule, where you are trying to take a step off. Now, let me back up. There's also 8 directions of movement: forward and back, left and right, and at each of the oblique angles. So any of these movements can be exercised in any of those directions. Some of them are going to be better than others. So when it comes to taking that single step, when it comes to taking the steps where we're going to step, plant, and engage, a couple things that I always tell people. Number 1, lead with the foot closest to the direction of travel. So if you're going to move to the left, you want to start by moving your left leg first. If you're going to move to the right, start by moving your right leg first. Practice that a couple times without obviously any live fire, but just get it comfortable with these kind of shuffle steps. And then once you're able to take one step, now start building them to a double step and even a triple step. What we've learned is that if you're only going to take 1 or 2 steps, you're not really getting outside of this ability for the bad guy to re-vector on your new position. But if you take 3 or more steps, now all of a sudden, it's outside of his ability to compensate for your movement. He's moving too fast to make that correction actually get to you. So that's a good thing. When we get to category 2 stuff, where you're actually shooting while in motion, here's what I tell everybody. First of all, forget all that crazy stuff that's out there. It's not effective, right? It works great in a static controlled environment here, but when you're actually out in the real world, you're not going to be able to do that. So like the heel to toe, the Groucho march, the ninja walk on rice paper, all of that is crap. Instead, what you want to do is just consider this. When the sight settles on the target, that's the best sight picture you're going to get. That's what we call the first best sight picture. You need to be able to break that shot. There's a margin of error that you have when you shoot the torso. So as long as you separate what the lower unit from the upper unit is doing, you're going to be fine. Think of it from a tank perspective. The tank body with the tracks, it has one job: moves the tank. The tank turret with the gun, it has one job: directs the gun on target and then fires. So that's how I would encourage you to consider your movement scenarios. Now, when it does come time to move, the velocity that you move will be dictated by the situation. If you need to move quickly, again, you're starting to border on that category 3 movement, which is double time or full out running. So you're going to be moving at a fairly quick pace, but not so quick that you can't be accurate as you're moving. If you are going to be moving past that, where now accuracy starts to get questionable, then you have to start to think, am I better off running? Am I better off stopping and shooting? So all of these techniques and tips are easy to practice dry fire. They're harder to practice live fire. So what are some things that you can do? Well, if you are interested, you can get involved in action shooting sports. It's a good way for you to start to get a little bit of mobility going. If not, finding a private range or a friend that has a private range that you can actually go and practice these are great. Other things that you might consider: a SIRT pistol or a laser emitted type device that allows you to actually shoot something while you're moving. Great options as well. All right, I'd love to hear about your training strategies for how you practice the shooting on the move and what you do to help improve the performance of shooting on the move. Again, it's a very perishable skill, so make sure you're practicing. I'm Jeff Gonzalez. Please feel free to post any questions or comments down below. Until then, take care and stay safe.